The Siwalik Hills. The Siwalik Hills are in the foothills of the Himalayas, north of Delhi. They extend for several hundred miles and are 2,000 to 3,000 feet high. In the 19th century, their usually rich fossil beds drew the attention of scientists. Animal bones of species and genera, living and extinct, were found there in the most amazing profusion. Some of the animals looked as though nature had conducted an abortive experiment with them and had discarded the species as not fit for life. The carapace of a tortoise 20 feet long was found there. How could such an animal have moved on a hilly terrain? The Elephas ganesa, an elephant species found in the Siwalik Hills, had tusks about 14 feet long and over 3 feet in circumference. One author says of them, "It is a mystery how these animals ever carried them, owing to their enormous size and leverage." The Siwalik fossil beds are stocked with animals of so many and such varied species that the animal world of today seems impoverished by comparison. It looks as though all of these animals invaded the world at one time. This sudden bursting on stage of such a varied population of herbivores, carnivores, rodents, and primates of the highest order of the mammals must be regarded as a most remarkable instance of rapid evolution of species, writes D.N. Wadia in his Geology of India. The hippopotamus, which generally is a climatically specialized type, Deutera, pigs, rhinoceroses, apes, oxen, filled the interior of the hills almost to bursting. A.R. Wallace, who shares with Darwin the honor of being the originator of the theory of natural selection, was among the first to draw attention in terms of astonishment to the Siwalik extinction. Many of the genera that comprised a wealth of species were extinguished to the last one. Some are still represented, but only by a few species. Of nearly 30 species of elephants found in the Siwalik beds, only one species has survived in India. The sudden and widespread reduction by extinction of the Siwalik mammals is a most startling event for the geologist as well as the biologist. The great carnivores, the varied races of elephants, belonging to no less than 25 to 30 species, the numerous tribes of large and highly specialized ungulates, hoofed animals, which found such suitable habitats in the Siwalik jungles of the Pleistocene epoch, no more in an immediately succeeding age. It used to be assumed that the advent of the Ice Age killed them, but subsequently it has been recognized that great destructions took place in the age of man, much closer to our day. The older geologists thought that the Siwalik deposits were alluvial in their nature, that they were debris carried down by the torrential Himalayan streams. But it was realized that this explanation does not appear to be tenable on the ground of the remarkable homogeneity that the deposit possess, and a uniformity of lithologic composition in a multitude of isolated basins at considerable distances from one another. There must have been some agent that carried these animals and deposited them at the feet of the Himalayas, after the passage of a geological age repeated the performance. For in the Siwalik Hills there are animals of more than one age and signs of more than one destruction. There was also a movement of the ground. The disrupted part of the fold has slipped boldly over for long distances, thus thrusting the older pre-Siwalik rock of the inner ranges of the mountains over the younger rocks of the outer ranges. If the cause of these paroxysms and destruction was not local, it must have produced similar effects at the other end of the Himalayas and beyond that range. 1,300 miles from the Siwalik Hills in central Burma, the deposits cut by the Irrawaddy River may reach 10,000 feet. Two fossiliferous horizons occur in this series, separated by about 4,000 feet of sands. The upper horizon bed, characterized by mastodon, hippopotamus, and ox, is similar to one of the beds in the Siwaliks. The sediments are remarkable for the large quantities of fossil wood associated with them. Hundreds and thousands of entire trunks of silicified trees and huge logs laying in the sandstones suggest the denudation of thickly forested areas. Animals met death and extinction by the elementary forces of nature, which also uprooted forests from Kashmir to Indochina, through sand over species and Genoa in the mountains, thousands of feet high. End of subchapter. That was pretty crazy. Never heard of Siwalik.